Today we're going to be reacting to I recreated a Netflix movie at home. Yeah, I'm actually expecting a lot from this video because I've actually watched a lot of his videos and I actually love his videos, bro. He's creative. Let's get into the video already.
When I was growing up, Netflix was just another place to rent DVDs. But things have changed. Fast forward to 2025. Netflix is producing some of the biggest movies in Hollywood, with budgets reaching into the hundreds of millions of dollars. And I have a crazy idea. I'm gonna recreate one of Netflix's biggest movies of the year at my house. I mean, how hard could it be? Let's get started.
From this setup, I feel like he used a tripod stand because while he stepped out, there was a shake in the camera movement. Let's see that again.
Let's get started.
So he's probably using a tripod stand because I don't feel it to be like a rig or a magic cam. I feel like the tripod stand he used.
Comprehension.
So you're probably wondering, what Netflix movie am I recreating? Well, here's the thing. The other day, I got a mysterious email inviting me to the Russo brothers movie studio. The Russo brothers directed Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, as well as some other massive movies, so you can probably understand why I thought this email was fake. After all, why would a random YouTuber who makes movies at his house get invited to visit a movie studio in Hollywood? This email has to be a scam. Hey, nice to meet you guys.
Hey man, how are you?
Okay, turns out the email was real, and somehow I'm now sitting down in a director's chair interviewing Joe and Anthony. As someone who just loves movies, one of my favorite things to do is watch behind-the-scenes interviews. But never in my life did I think I would be the person in the chair asking the questions.
I was just telling them out there, like, if you could teleport me here a month ago, I would have been like, how is this happening right now? So I'm very nervous, very excited to meet you guys.
Dreams will come true.
Thank you.
Now, it's time to ask the big question.
Bro, the ads are getting too much. I watched 2 full ads right now, bro.
The Russo brothers just directed one of Netflix's biggest movies of 2025. It's called The Electric State, and I'm gonna ask them directly to give me a scene to recreate from the movie. I wanted you guys to challenge me to make my own scene at home from the movie.
Here's the scene, I think. And it's just the first part of it, otherwise it'll get too complicated.
Yeah. Complicated is the perfect word. Joe suggested that I recreate a scene where the main characters drive the planner's nutmobile into a desolate town called Happy Land. Now this scene involves wide landscape shots, a moving vehicle, as well as CGI characters. In other words, I am in way over my head.
All right, anything else you can think of? Or?
No, that's a great scene, and I really want to have a look at what you do.
Yeah, well, I'll have a comparison.
I just want to see you play all the characters.
Okay, perfect.
And just like that, I was on my way back home to Texas. I'm really excited, but I'm also really nervous because I have a lot of learning and work to do. Okay, here's the plan. It is Tuesday, March 4th. The movie comes out in 10 days, and I want to finish this recreation at the same time the movie's released. Ideally, I would have started working on this a week ago, but I've been running into some unexpected problems, starting with this. This is the Planner's Nutmobile, a real car owned by the Planners Company. And as you'll soon see, it plays a major role in the Electric State. More specifically, it's the centerpiece of the scene I'm recreating, which means I need to find a way to film it. But after some research, I realized that's basically impossible. I did learn that you can actually apply to drive the Nutmobile for the company, but filming it is not an option. So I turned to one of Hollywood's oldest tricks.
It's almost the same thing. If you allow someone to film. So come on, let's go.
Filming miniatures is a really common technique in Hollywood. Miniatures allow filmmakers to create really large-scale scenes at a fraction of the cost of a traditionally built movie set. And they also just bring a sense of realism to the shot that's often really hard to get using CGI. That being said, I'm gonna make a miniature set, and step 1 is to find a toy version of the Nutmobile. If I can get my hands on one, I can film this scene in my house. But here's the catch. There aren't many of these toy Nutmobiles in the country. In fact, the only one I could find was on an online auction, and getting it to my house proved to be much more difficult than expected. So I paid for extra fast shipping for both of these items. They still took like a week to show up. That's not good. But just because something isn't good doesn't mean we give up. My plan here is to film Mr. Peanut, shrink him down, and make it look like he's driving the car.
I think he's going to use green screen. I'm just projecting. I think he's going to use green screen.
Genius, I know. I will then shrink myself down and make it look like I'm in the passenger seat next to Mr. Peanut. I only have 9 days to do this, and I actually think it's impossible to finish it by myself in time, so I'm gonna call my friend.
Hello?
Tom, how's it going?
I'm all good, man. How are you?
Good. What are you doing for the next 9 days? Tom's gonna do the visual effects while I film the practical shots. After each day of filming, I'll send over my footage, and then he'll finish the shot with visual effects. Each shot that we're doing has its own unique set of challenges, so we'll be in constant communication to make sure we create the best recreation possible.
You said you wanna play your game. You dealt me in, I said I'll pick it up, it's all the same. Don't follow all the rules.
Okay, here's what's going on. All the shots I need to get for this scene take place in the desert. So my first task is to create a sandy area where I can film. To pull this effect off, I'm just using some potting soil that I bought at the hardware store. Is it the right thing to use? Honestly, I have no idea. Like I already said, I've never done this before, and I'm just learning as I go. Alright, so we have 8 shots to film in total, and the first one I'm gonna get is the one where the car is driving left to right.
Relax. 3 ads in how many minutes?
We see the Welcome to Happy Land sign in the foreground. I am just making my very own miniature Welcome to Happy Land sign out of cardboard so that we can put it in the foreground of the shot. Ta-da! Isn't it beautiful? Once I record the shot, we will then delete the green screen and add a beautiful sunset. The camera's recording.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
I am just gonna let the actors do their job.
Beautiful.
So something you should know about filming miniatures is that tiny adjustments can change the scene drastically. Just shifting lights around or sprinkling dirt on a prop can turn a boring shot into something really exciting. And speaking of exciting, it's time we take the Nutmobile on a test drive through the desert. I think we have a problem. I think it's safe to say that this thing is not an off-road vehicle, which isn't good because the most important shot of this entire scene requires us driving on the dirt. For some of the wide shots, we're using my iPhone scan of the car to make it drive with visual effects. But for this shot, we need to film the car for real, and it needs to be moving. So I don't really know what to do, but I'm gonna come back to it because right now I have other shots to film.
Like a new set, that's crazy.
So one thing I'm learning is that filming miniatures is very slow, tedious, delicate work. As I'm filming, I'm just hearing Anthony's voice in the back of my head.
I really want to have a look at what you do.
That is adding a lot of pressure to the situation. I've literally only got 1 shot done. I have 7 more to go. I need to get a move on. The wig looked better online. This, I don't know what this is. I don't look like Chris Pratt, that's for sure. Here's what I thought I was getting, and here's what I actually got. The resemblance is undeniable. We're basically twins. Here we go. How'd that feel? Was that good? Was that awesome? How was that? If you're confused by what I'm doing right now, well, that's valid. This isn't really a normal day at the office. But let me jog your memory. Remember that beautiful drawing I showed earlier in the video? Well, this is that plan coming to fruition. I'm just filming clips so that I can put myself and Mr. Peanut inside the Nutmobile. Filming in front of a blue screen like this makes it way easier to crop us into a new environment, and in this case, the new environment is a plastic car that looks like a peanut. Did that top-down lighting work okay? From how I lit the blue screen?
Yeah. What you did was fantastic. You've got a really nice cutout, and the light itself, pretty good.
Maybe his eye kind of moves. It's like a little bit of puppeting, you know?
Oh no, make him blink.
Yeah. This will be our workflow for the next 7 days. It's a really fun process, but it's also really time consuming. Hey, good morning. I'm at the hardware store. Yesterday's filming went really well. I'm most excited about how the dirt turned out because I genuinely just bought a pack of potting soil for $8. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks very similar to the dirt that we see in the movie. That being said, today I have to film this shot, which takes place on a real road. So my hope today is to find supplies to help me recreate the look of that road. This is gonna work. If you're wondering why I'm building an entirely new set for this shot, it's because I need a larger area to work with. While the interior set might work for small movements, this shot requires the car cruising down the highway. And if you remember, the interior set doesn't really work for driving. I still need to figure that out. So in the meantime, I'm filming outside. Alrighty, here goes nothing. Whoa, that was fast. Action. With that shot out of the way, it's time to solve some problems. Hopefully, spraying down the dirt makes the surface drivable. This should work just fine. This is no longer a problem because I've devised a 3-step plan. Step 1, I am going to dig a trench. Step 2, I will lay down the same metal sandpaper that I used outside. In step 3, I will cover the sandpaper with a very thin layer of dust. Wow. And voila, we are one step closer to filming the most difficult shot of this challenge. Now, it's time to add tracking markers. Excuse me? What's a tracking marker?
Like all those CGI thingy.
You don't know what it is?
You have to like use a blue tape or something like that.
Honestly, I'm just an actor. I don't really know the technical stuff. I mean, I can explain what it is.
Exact thing in music videos and all those things, but I never like understand the main thing. I know they use it for like all those post-production, or you like remove the background and all those things, but I'm not really getting the main details on how they do it. Let's go.
I don't really know the technical stuff. I mean, I can explain what it is. That would be amazing. This little blue cross right here is a tracking marker. If you've ever watched behind the scenes footage from a movie, you've probably seen them. Think of them as little reference points that help computer software understand what's going on in a video clip. For my shot, they're working like pin drops on a map, helping Tom's software make sure that the computer generated props and effects move realistically. And if you're still confused, don't worry about it. I don't really understand it either.
I understand the concept, but I don't really deeply understand it.
Oh, also, I never explained how I made these little flags. Here's how I did it. Now that everything's working, it's time to film the shot. But for this one, I'm gonna need an extra set of hands. My roommate Nick is going to help me do this. Sup, it's Nick. This is the only handheld shot of the recreation. So while I film, Nick will be pulling the Nutmobile with string. Now to make this work, we're gonna have to be perfectly in sync. And action. And cut. Now, there's more than one thing going wrong here, but the biggest issue at the moment is the autofocus on my camera is not latching on to the vehicle.
I feel like maybe manual.
Knowing my history with cameras, this could definitely be a user error, but for now, I'm a little confused. Action. What ended up even being a bigger issue is that the handheld movement just isn't smooth enough. And I didn't realize this till I put the footage on my computer. We filmed all of these takes and every one of them is unusable. But then I remembered that I own a stabilizer. I rarely use these, but in this situation, I think it will do the job. So I put the camera on it and we tried again.
This is literally take like 20 at this point, so.
Eventually, I just had to say it's good enough. Hopefully, one of these shots will work. Obviously, we got a lot going on in this shot. One thing I really want to make sure we capture is the flags that are in the foreground there. That's one of those things that's like really prominent in the movie.
That's a great scene, and I really want to have a look at what you do.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll have a comparison. After days of editing and filming, we finally had a finished scene. Dude, okay. Man, I think we're good. So that being said, it's time to send it to the Russo brothers. Here's my recreation.
That is nice, bro. Come on.
Welcome to Happy Land. Honestly, I've seen better. Right, Mr. Peanut? Mr. Peanut?
This thing is actually like crazy. But this is nice, bro. Come on.
That's weird. Thanks for watching.
Bro, this is nice. I want to check something. He told his friend to make like Mr. Peanut blink in the car. I can't even see that for yourself. This is crazy, bro.
Welcome to Happy Land.
This is nice. Big up Isaac for this video. This is nice and creative. See you on the next video. Love and guidance. Peace.